Fabrizio Romano announces Liverpool transfer plan. According to Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool will continue their transfers in this transfer window after the signing of Alexis Mac Allister. The update from Romano states that the Reds want to further strengthen their midfield and are following Nicolo Barella. Liverpool continue to follow Nicolo Barella for a long time. After signing Alexis Mac Allister, Romano said Liverpool will sign at least one more key midfielder this summer. Merseyside's red side has linked up with other midfielders this summer, including Kefren Thuram. The report also states that Jürgen Klopp is a big fan of Nicolo Barella and Liverpool is following the player. Recent reports have linked Newcastle with a move for the Italian international. However, Romano's latest update suggested that no official offer has been made to Inter Milan for the midfielder, despite news that Newcastle is pushing hard for Barella. According to Romano, Barella is unlikely to sell for £50 million. Jürgen Klopp's team recently released some midfielders, including James Milner, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Naby Keita. This left the club incompetent in the midfield. Liverpool seem to admire Barella as they have been following the 26-year-old Italian midfielder for some time. It is not yet clear whether the Merseyside Giants will make an official approach to the Italian international. Should they decide to sign a player of Barella's caliber, he would be a great addition to Anfield midfield alongside Mac Allister. Barella is an outstanding midfielder and arguably one of the best deep playmakers in Europe. He also provides a goal threat with his performance at the club and international level. He is comfortable in picking up the ball in tight spaces and rarely appears fussy. His rate of work, along with his creativity and talent, is one of his best traits that will make him a fan favorite at Anfield. Barella most recently competed with Inter in the Champions League final and became one of the key players of the team. He could very clearly complete the missing piece in Klopp's suit. His dribbling with the ball and his aggressive actions on defense are definitely the kind of qualities Klopp wants to see in his team. But of course, there are roughnesses in this transfer as well. Especially the fact that Liverpool cannot participate in the Champions League due to their inability to enter the top four may create a negative perspective for Barella. The Italian star cares about staying in the Champions League. But with a long deal to be made and the return of the Reds to the Champions League next year, he can be persuaded. Barella is only 26 years old and is experiencing the peak of her career. This season, he took part in a total of 52 matches for Inter. This shows how stable and solid player he is. Considering Klopp's recent woes, its robustness is certainly appealing. In these matches, he scored a total of 9 goals, assisted in 10 and showed that he was extremely good in offensive features. Liverpool's midfielders in the last period have not been able to produce enough score contributions. The Italian star can fill this gap significantly. Barella is currently listed by Transfermarkt as €75 million and his contract with his current club will expire on the 30th of June 2026. Interest in Fabio Carvalho is great. Liverpool have already signed Alexis Mac Allister this summer, but there is still a lot of work to be done for new sporting director George Schmadtke, both inbound and outbound players. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it looks like the market is about to warm up a bit. From a Liverpool perspective, one of the things that needs to be worked on is the future of Fabio Carvalho, who, after his first season at Anfield, has not had quite the success the former Fulham Academy product had hoped for. With a goal that came with big ambitions and started off really positive, scoring a last-minute win against Newcastle, there was a lot more hope than delivered in the end. In the second half of the season, Jürgen Klopp gave Carvalho almost no chance in the first team. He played for a very short time against Real Madrid in the Champions League and only spent 8 minutes on the field in the Premier League in 2023. It is therefore not surprising that Liverpool are open to offers for Carvalho. However, the club is not yet ready to let him leave with a permanent deal. After all, it wouldn't have made sense for Liverpool to part ways with the 20-year-old who the club had worked so hard to recruit just a year ago, and the club clearly saw a vision for the future. Of course, Carvalho still needs to develop physically, but he looked promising in a red shirt when he stepped forward. Leipzig submitted an offer for a permanent transfer worth around $13 million as the opening bid. Also this week, West Ham allegedly made a loan offer, while Brentford and Burnley were also keen on a season-long option. A temporary solution is Liverpool's preferred option, and it's no surprise why. Carvalho's 3 goals in just 638 minutes is not a bad statistic at all for a player who mostly comes in with a few minutes remaining and starts only 8 games in total. In the second half of the campaign, it felt like Carvalho was kind of stuck under Klopp. The Liverpool boss has rarely given him the opportunity to show how valuable he is in competitive appearances. However, Klopp still believes he is the best talent. "No player has impressed me more than Fabio, that's the truth," Klopp said at the end of the season. "This very talented kid came here with big dreams and big expectations and it didn't work out, but his work ethic will get him a great career," he said. Liverpool are hoping a great career will still be played out at Anfield, and there is a glow of optimism this season based on an important statistic. According to FBref, Liverpool's Carvalho has been the player with the most goals creating action per 90 minutes this season. He averaged 0.8 goal-creating actions per 90 minutes in all competitions, which is more than Mohamed Salah, who averaged 0.6 goal-creating actions. Of course, it's not fair to compare Carvalho to Salah, but this statistic clearly shows that he can be very decisive on the pitch. He has also shown that he can be extremely prolific at scoring goals and creating chances at Fulham, and given Liverpool's few midfielders, it's understandable why the club's transfer stance was to hire him rather than sell it. A loan away from Anfield could help Carvalho discover his confidence and work on the sides his game needs to be ready to prove himself once again in the red jersey. Based on the promising signs he has shown on the pitch, statistics also prove that it is too early for Liverpool to let him go. The 22-year-old said that Liverpool was definitely watching him. Van der Ven has emerged as a potential candidate in Liverpool's search for a new centre-back. News earlier this month claimed that the Reds were willing to enter talks with Wolfsburg on a transfer. While all these developments were taking place, Dutch publication Voetbal International questioned Van der Ven about his connections with Liverpool. "Of course I've heard that too. But as I said, the media also needs to have something to write about," said the Netherlands U21 star. "Of course, there are a lot of people drawing lines. It's true that Georg Schmadtke went there and I know Liverpool followed me before. I think Liverpool is a great club. If there is a good club that has a clear plan with me, then I can think of a step. After this summer, I only have a chance to play in the Bundesliga, but I also have a chance to make a transfer. We'll see. Let's finish this season first," he said. Before Liverpool start considering a new defensive addition, they need to rank themselves by midfield. But once you've done all that and dusted off, attention will quickly turn to strengthening the back line. On paper, Jürgen Klopp doesn't seem all that out of place. In terms of numbers, Liverpool have 2 clear first picks, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. Joel Matip and Joe Gomez offer a good level of toe. But Joel Matip's future is pretty uncertain. Both Matip and Van Dijk turned 32 this summer, and the former player's contract expires in a year. Gomez's level hasn't been good enough for a while Konate has injury issues. It's time to bring another one. That being the case, Van der Ven seems like the most likely candidate for it. He's obviously aware of the Reds' interest, and the Schmadtke connection is one that can't be ignored. He was highly rated in March by Wolfsburg sporting director Marcel Schaefer for being called a player with great potential. Van der Ven's star is rising. As it continues to get better and better, Liverpool will be watching.